Silver Threads of Fate is the newest adventure in the Role Player Adventures universe. It is currently on crowdfunding. I'll include a link to the crowdfunder down below. And this is an epic, cinematic, crazy, involved one-shot. So I'm not going to really get much into gameplay. If you've played Role Player Adventures, you're going to basically understand how to play this. There are a few new mechanisms. They cover that in the beginning of the book, so you can see it there. I'm kind of going to go over more the general feelings and what it is about this that I really like. And that way, if this is stuff that you're really liking or you're looking forward to, it'll help inform your decision. So stick around after break as I get into all of that. So I'm going to say one of the things that I really enjoy about Role Player Adventures is the grand epic scale of the whole campaign. And in Silver Threads of Fate, it conveys that same epic feeling in that small package, in that one shot. You're going to play this and you're going to feel like you played a whole campaign just through like the character arc and development and the way that everything kind of plays out throughout this whole book. Because it has all those workings and those beats that usually these grand cinematic adventures hit. So as you're playing it, you're going to feel that whole sense of accomplishment that way. It feels like the type of adventure that you're going to want to plan that whole day to experience and delve into. Like, if you are used to role playing, you're going to do that whole like, all right, we're going to sit down, we're going to play like 8-10 straight hours. This is going to kind of feel like that type of adventure that you are going to invest that time in. It is long, so you might do multiple sessions in order to get it done. But you could, in theory, do it, like I said, if you involve that whole day, if you make that like your crux, you're going to be like, yes, we're going to experience this. And you are going to feel like you didn't waste that day. You are going to get at the end of that day and feel, wow, look at this accomplishment, the way that it felt, the way that it went. Just, it's going to feel like a day's worth of enjoyment. So without getting too spoiler about what all happens in the book, you are going to start off with new characters. You, of course, can use some of the pre-generated ones, or if you have any that you've created in the role player game, you are able to import those as well. But you will not be using the same characters you use in the regular role player adventures. You will be creating new ones. And you're going to be tasked with this mission. This mission is going to be happening alongside the events of the fourth adventure from the base game. This one also does utilize all the components from the base game. It's going to be used in maps and cards and all of that. This is basically just the book. And one of the big things with this one is you'll notice right away that as you're playing through and making choices and delving into that, it is going to boost you up. It is going to get you experience. It is going to make sure you are going to be ready for this epic finale that it's going to hold for you come the end. So even though you are starting with new characters, it is going to make sure that the way that you started and the way you end is going to be dramatically different to experience this epic finale and just really get that, like I said, campaign feel throughout the whole adventure. And then, even though it utilizes all the stuff from the base game, this one injects new mechanisms, new puzzles. It's not going to feel like just a new adventure, but samey. Like, it's not going to be like, well, you're using all the stuff from the base game, so we're just going to give you like another base game adventure. No, this is going to take those components and utilize them differently, have a different layout. The party journal, there's a whole brand new one for this. They do have instructions on how you can change the regular party journal for this one, but it would be easier just to kind of print this one out. I actually laminate mine so that way I don't have to print out multiple ones. We can just use wet erase markers and just use it and then erase it after the adventure, especially since, it's a one-time adventure. You don't have to keep track of multiple things. It's all on there. So like I said, even though you are utilizing basically everything from there except for the journal page, which you still can, they do change it up. You're going to not have an experience track. You're going to have a time track. You're going to have this threads track. You're not going to be getting all this experience and all that throughout the game. It's all going to be kind of triggered differently. And some of the characters you meet are going to interact differently. And then even getting into that, the whole finale of the whole adventure is just this whole brand new puzzle and mechanism they haven't utilized in any of the games yet. So it is going, like I said, utilize all that stuff in a different way and inject new puzzles and new ways that everything's going to interact with each other. And one of the ways that does that is the new mechanism where you're going to have allies. So typically, like, you'd be getting items. So if you want to use an item in a location, you look, like if you're in location I, you'll be like I-64 to utilize this item. Instead, now you're going to be experiencing allies and befriending or getting different characters you've experienced in the role player adventures before, and now they're going to be allies. So when you're in a certain area, you might be talking to that ally. What can you tell me about this area? What can you tell me about this? So again, it's a whole new way of interacting with all those people and characters that you have experienced and dealt with prior if you played role player adventures. So before I get into overall with this, I will say, so typically I'm a physical product version. There are some things that I don't mind utilizing an app for, but when it comes to rule books, or in this instance, the adventure book or anything like that, I much prefer to have a physical copy in front of me that I can flip through, and it's just easier for me. We did the PDF version of this one, and I will say, with their plans for how they are going to utilize this, I am really excited for that. They're going to have a link, so like if you go here and you combat, or you make this choice, or say you have a keyword and you need to go to, like, F22. You're going to click on F22 and it's going to bring you right to where you need to go. So it's not going to be constantly flipping back, forth, going like that. You're going to have these basically hyperlinks that are going to click and bring you to the different segments. And I think that is actually going to work really well for this adventure. Again, kind of spoilery, but you're going to be kind of, moving back and forth and going to all these different areas and doing all these different things. So be able to have those hyperlinks that can pop you into places and have it where you don't have to keep flipping back and forth and throughout the book and all that, I think is going to be really well, especially for this specific adventure. So it is one that I am actually kind of excited to experience that full PDF version of this one. But overall, I am going to say this is a fantastic new entry into the role player adventure universe. It shows that they're not just kind of sitting on their hands and just pumping out just something just to pump something out. They are looking at new ways to engage you, new ways to engage mechanisms that you might have had before, introducing new mechanisms while still utilizing what you already have. It also has multiple paths, so you can experience this in multiple ways, making different choices, ending up with different outcomes, going down different paths, and the way that everything works out. So it isn't going to just, it's a one shot, but it's not going to be a one and done. You can do the one and then make new characters and try it a different way, and then try a different way and move down this path and go there. And then, as I said, it has that great twist on old mechanics while interested in the new ones that you need to manage and pay attention to. It's a great way of making this a worthy one shot, like I said, utilizing the XP cubes in a new way. Having that time track, which instills a sense of timeliness and dread throughout the whole game, especially come the ending. It's going to be like this race possibly against time, and this time track's filling and emptying and moving around. So just really instilling that extra sense of, we gotta hurry. It's moving along. So again, if you're wanting that epic all-day adventure that will leave you feeling like you just watch or participate in this grand epic movie and adventure, if you're wanting to have that feeling of having this grand epic campaign but in a manageable, basically one-shot time frame, as opposed to having to invest, hours upon hours upon hours and days and weeks and dragging it out. If you want just that feeling encompassed in this one-shot adventure, then this is definitely one that I think you should check out. As I said, there is a link to it down below. Down below is also where you can go ahead and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell to be alerted as we do videos. In that comment section, if you've played Role Player Adventures, let me know which was your favorite adventure, or maybe your favorite plot point, or something that you really enjoyed from the first Role Player Adventures. Alrighty, so until next time, roll it up.